So, Diesel made my farrier bleed the last time he was here. We have to fix that. So, Diesel has gotten this really bad habit of pulling specifically his back feet away from my farrier and from me as well from time to time. And when my farrier was here last time, he was trying to trim Diesel's back legs, and because I was standing at the front of Diesel, I didn't 100% see what happened, but Diesel yanked his foot out and my farrier cut himself, I don't know, with his nippers or something, but he was bleeding. And I felt very bad. I was also very embarrassed that my horse was being an idiot and misbehaving like that. So my goal for when the farrier comes next time, which will be probably 6-7 weeks from now, is that Diesel will be much more behaved than he was that time. So I don't know if it's because the camera's on, but as you could see from that last clip, he was fine to pick out all 4 feet. With me picking up his feet, usually it's his right hind that he's sticky about, and it's less often than when the farrier does it. Like when the farrier does it, he does it every time. We actually end up like pushing him up against the stall so he can like lean against the stall. We have one leg picked up and that's how he gets trimmed. Not ideal. Like my ideal is we ask him to pick up a foot. He picks it up and holds it there until we're done without a fuss and just chills out. That is not what's going on right now, unfortunately. So we need to get to the bottom of it, get it figured out so my horse or my farrier does not leave here bleeding ever again. The first thing we definitely need to look at is pain. We would think, okay, I don't think Diesel is intentionally trying to be bad. Horses don't think like that. So it's like, okay, well, is he pulling his foot away because he's in pain? Based on like him not pulling it away today and stuff like that, I'm hesitant to think it's pain. But my plan is to get some sort of body worker out here to just have an assessment done on him to see like, is there something in, I don't know, his hips, his hocks, stifles, like is there something in his body that a farrier pulling up his foot is causing him pain? We want to rule out that first and foremost. So that's kind of on my homework or to-do list, is to find a body worker to assess Diesel's body. So step 2 would be just a lot of desensitizing him. Like him, even when I put, I've recently started putting hind boots on Diesel when I work him. I've never done that in the past. And if I had to guess, his previous owner didn't use hind boots either because he's very sensitive about me putting hind boots on him. So I think just desensitizing him, getting him used to having his hind legs handled in a variety of ways is going to be really important about fixing this problem. Him just yeah, being comfortable with me, just petting him, putting boots on, picking up his feet, handling him if I needed to like trim some hair or something, or if I need to dress his feet, like all those things. I want him super, super chill and super comfortable with me being in this area, because at this point he's definitely got room for improvement. Like if I look at Junior, I can do anything back here and he's gonna be half asleep. Diesel is definitely more concerned about this situation. So that's only just gonna come with time and me just messing around back here and getting him comfortable and used to this. And while we do want him desensitized to what's going on back here, we still also want him sensitized in the sense that like when I ask him to pick up his foot, he does that. Right now I would say he's a bit oversensitized, so either like if I just pull a little bit on his hock or like touch his chestnut or anything like that, that should be his cue for him to pick up his back leg. Again, I feel like he's a bit too sensitive right now, but I do still I don't want him, the pendulum to swing so far the other way that he won't pick up his foot when I'm asking him for it. So that's good. Good boy. See, and there's that. So that's what he does. That's his jam. That was a pretty mild pullback. I've had much more violent ones, but that's what we're trying to get away from. Easy. Good boy. Good boy. There. So let's see, his foot's hardly off the ground at this point. I just want him relaxed. And then knowing like that's all I want to ask for, and you can put it back down. Good boy. I might switch to the other one for a second. This one, I usually don't get much kickback from this one. Good boy. And we'll try the other one again. Just lots and lots and lots of repetition. Good boy. See, he felt a lot more, his muscles didn't feel as tight that time. So I think that's a lot of what I'm gonna do is just like this, just going back and forth constantly until this is like no big deal. Good boy. And of course right now I'm not doing a whole lot. Like again, foot is hardly off the ground. I'm not asking for too much extension. Whereas my farrier, he tends to like really get under my horses, lift their leg up quite high. I'm not gonna ask for that much right now because obviously we're starting with something very basic here and we'll build from there. I do have a rasp and nippers as well. I'm not very skilled with these at all, but once I do get him feeling more comfortable with picking up the feet and he's not reefing it away from me, I will start just maybe not using these, but like I can use the less aggressive side a bit, and even just like clanging around with a hoof pick, just like kind of simulating the work that a farrier would do, just again to get him like super desensitized to this whole process. I feel like we've gone backwards essentially. Like he's turning five. Are you turning 5? No, he's turning 6 this year. He's had his feet trimmed every 6 to 8 weeks for several years at this point. We should not be dealing with this. That's why, again, I'm wondering if there's something that's hurting, but it could be a behavior thing as well. I'm not going to rule out either of those potentials, but we're going to just work on it, get the advice of some sort of body worker or my vet even, and then kind of go from there. And like I said, aim is to have no more blood being spilled over farrier work. Can we do that? Hey? We'd like our farrier to keep coming. He's a nice guy. And you hurt him. Yeah. You should be a little nicer. He's done nothing rude to you. Kept your feet looking pretty. Yeah, I don't get it. Like I said, I want my farrier to enjoy coming and trimming my horses because they're well behaved, which my farrier loves to trim Junior because he is like, just picks up his foot, stands there, doesn't move a muscle, is just awesome. And then I have this guy that's just a pain in the you-know-what. So we will work on that. We will work on it. We will get it figured out.
In an earlier video, I had mentioned that one of my big goals with Diesel is just to get him to a place where he's the ultimate horse, like super well broke, super well behaved, can do anything with him, just the ultimate all-around horse. And while this whole picking up his feet issue seems pretty insignificant and trivial, the fact of the matter is the ultimate horse stands nicely for the farrier. They are very well behaved and they just stand there and let the farrier do his work. So if I'm wanting Diesel to be that ultimate horse, that means that this whole issue needs to get resolved. And so while my big goal is I want Diesel to be the ultimate horse, I need to break that down into smaller goals like getting him to stand nice for the farrier. It's one of those smaller building blocks that is going to accumulate and build up with other small building blocks like just standing quietly while tied, or standing for someone to get on his back, or even more fancier things like, being able to do a rollback. All of those singular, smaller things, those, when combined together, that is what is going to make up the ultimate horse. And so while it could be very easy for me to just say, my farrier and I, we figure it out, like we make it work with how it is. It's very easy to just kind of brush this thing under the rug. The truth is that if at the end of the day, I'm really serious about making him into the ultimate horse, then I have a responsibility to work on these smaller things like that. As tedious as it might be, as boring as it might be for me to continually pick up his back feet day in and day out, it's what I need to do in order to get him to where I want him to be in the future. So that's kind of how I'm approaching this. Like I said, this all seems so elementary, such a beginner skill, but it's those foundational building blocks that are going to create the ultimate horse at the end of the day.